Tonight on CTV News, concerns are raised over the latest Māori health statistics. Are birds to blame for our contaminated rivers? And the Governor-General inspires young leaders.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Kia ora, good evening, welcome to CTV News. I'm Jared McCulloch. Latest statistics paint a grim picture of how Māori health's faring in Canterbury. Māori children under the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to be hospitalised for acute rheumatic fever than non-Māori, and have a higher rate of poverty-related health and mental health problems too. The data was released by the Ministry of Health. Today's other news now. ECAN says ducks and geese are the least of the city's worries when it comes to contamination in our inner city rivers. Chelsea Daniels has more.
Environment Canterbury says there's not much to be done about birds defecating in the Avon and Heathcote rivers.
How could you stop the birds? And you might have a, there's talk in the paper this morning of getting rid of all the geese, but other birds would fill their place. And people like birds. So it's this thing where you've got something that people like that's affecting something in a negative way.
The issue was discussed at the Christchurch West Melton Water Management Zone Committee meeting this week. The bacteria from the contaminated water can spread to disease to humans who come in contact with it. Authorities are reluctant to cull ducks or Canadian geese to reduce river population problems. Committee Working Group member Islaine McLeod says it's a real issue, saying the geese are threatening native species. She says setting traps for possums is much the same. But Rob says there's a lot people can do about reducing contamination in the city's urban rivers besides culling geese.
So there's stuff that gets in directly, like litter and, dogs and birds, so anything you can do to stop any of the faecal matter getting in. But the bigger issue really is that anything that you do on a road, on a hard surface, on your driveway, on your roof, any of those things actually get washed straight into the river.
She says it's looking doubtful the city's rivers will ever be 100% safe.
That's a really big ask for urban rivers. I mean, the intensity of population, the amount of roads and roofs that are contributing to that one quite small river, it's a big ask. We can definitely improve it.
It is suggested by ECAN that people wait 48 hours before using the rivers for any recreational activities. This is because the amount of contamination after rainfall hits a considerable peak.
Often a lot of the stuff that gets into the river sits there and then it all comes in the rain. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. And in Auckland and in Wellington and in Christchurch, it's very common for rivers to have particularly high levels of bacteria after rainfalls.
ECAN are currently working on a plan for less contamination in the Avon and Heathcote rivers, but say it's not an easy problem nor an easy solution. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
A teenager who denies murdering an Upper Riccarton pensioner can now be identified. Telelia Waitukio was 16 years old when he was charged with killing 87-year-old Harold Richardson at his Owens Terrace home back in August. At his first appearance in the youth court, a judge made a suppression order banning publication of his name and gender. Waitukio, now 17, has been remanded in custody for another call-over on December 11th. While Redcliffe schools amidst a battle to keep their doors open, the principal has accepted a job elsewhere for the next school year. Chelsea Daniels has the latest.
The Redcliffe school principal says uncertainty over the school's future has nothing to do with her decision to stand down at the end of the year.
Obviously it's very disappointing and we are confident that the Minister will overturn her proposal and choose to leave the school open.
Kim Alexander will remain principal until the end of the year after nearly a decade at Redcliffe's.
I've been at Redcliffe for 8 years, so that's a good stint for a principal, and it's an appropriate time to be moving on to the next step in my career.
Education Minister Hekia Parada announced in March that she intended to close the school, but a final decision remains to be announced. The school is expecting to discover its fate in mid-November.
Well, we don't know the exact time, but we have been told that we will get the decision this term. And we do know that everything is back with the Minister now. She's reading the submissions and she's got further advice from the Ministry.
She says the school is an important part of the community and one that will be sorely missed.
Redcliffe is like a village, and particularly since the earthquakes, the people of Redcliffe have been through a lot, and they've been through that together, and they've supported one another. They're very community-minded, and having a primary school in their community, they've had one for over 100 years.
Alexander started at Redcliffe's in 2008 and is sad but excited to say goodbye.
I have loved it. It's been very challenging because of the events, but I've also learned a huge amount, and I've gained a lot of new skills and experiences. Very unique and special, and I wouldn't regret any minute of it.
The Ministry of Education has received around 2,700 submissions. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Well, still to come here on CTV News, the Governor-General visits a local school. Welcome back to CTV News. The Governor-General was in Christchurch today teaching high school Māori and Pacifica students the importance of leadership.
His Excellency the Governor-General was in Christchurch today, and he took the opportunity to talk leadership at the Māori and Pacifica Leadership Forum.
Well, I'd been asked to speak to the Māori and Pacifica boys about leadership. And so I took that opportunity, and I was going to be in Christchurch anyway for a couple of other events, memorial events, so it just happened to work out quite well.
Matepere is New Zealand's 20th Governor-General and the second Māori person to hold the office.
I am passionate about young people, young New Zealanders, and just sort of giving them a view about what life could be like. And my example isn't the example for all of them. But if it's one young person that sort of really thinks, oh, I could do that, I did it, they could do it. And that's the same, it's not just for Māori and Pacifica, it's for young people generally.
He says he's excited about the opportunities young people have today.
There is someone in a school, a number of people in a school, somewhere in New Zealand, who will be either the Governor-General or the Prime Minister or any sort of other sorts of roles in this country.
He spoke today about how it's important for all good leaders to know where they came from, know what they stand for, and to recognise their heritage. And the boys were nothing short of inspired.
It was pretty awesome. I was a bit starstruck sitting in the audience, just looking at a man who's just achieved so much and who's quite humble about it as well.
I think his roles, like different roles in culture, military, education, it was great seeing that he got its message from the school, because I guess it shows, especially like the stereotypical Pacific Islander or Māori guy, that you can change and you can be something different than what you're told you can be.
Matepere flew in from Wellington this morning and also visited the French-inspired town of Akaroa. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Southbridge will be celebrating this weekend, the latest Samhain town to join the 150 Club, with a number of events being held this weekend. The town joins Lincoln, West Melton, Prebbleton and Leaston amongst settlements, marking 150th anniversaries within the last few years. Among the weekend's celebrations will be a historical display, a street parade and a mapped tour of historical points of interest around the town on Sunday, with sports events being held on Labour Day. Well, now we cross to Bridget Rutherford in the newsroom with what's happening in your neighbourhood.
Thanks, Jared. Jared, I'm Bridget Rutherford. Parishioners will be back at St Anne's Catholic Church in Woolston tomorrow for the first time since the February 22 earthquake. There will be a Saturday night vigil and a confirmation mass on Sunday in the building, which has undergone repairs and strengthening. The temporary works just completed strengthened the rear wall, narthex and improved connections between the roof and the main structure. The original tower was removed after the earthquakes for safety, and the cross has been placed where the tower previously stood. St Anne's is one of the first of several Catholic churches expected to be reopened shortly. St Peter's Beckenham is planned to be opened next month, and St Matthew's in Brindwa could be open by early December. A contract has just been let to do work on Our Lady of Assumption in Hoonhay. It's expected to be open for Christmas. New Brighton residents visiting the Positive Directions Trust will now be welcomed into a cosy and inviting space. That's all thanks to the donation of a sleep out built by CPIT Youth Guarantee Carpentry and Joinery students. Trust General Manager Phil Tikale says the sleep out will make a difference to those accessing the Trust's social development services for the first time. The Trust has other buildings on site, but the sleep out will be used for counselling. Breen's Intermediate has a budding young writer. 13-year-old Olivia Baker was one of 5 winners from 266 entries in the junior division of the Margaret Mayhew Starlight Essay and Poetry competition. Her prize included attending the Aoraki Mackenzie Starlight Festival in Twizel. She was presented with a certificate from visiting astronomer Professor Chris Lintott, who was a guest lecturer at the festival. During the weekend, she attended an astronomical art workshop hosted by Christchurch's Science Alive, visited the Mount John Observatory for a spot of stargazing, and enjoyed lectures from keynote speakers. And expect the unexpected when driving in the Selwyn district. That's the message from the local district council, with a new road safety campaign reminding drivers to slow down and be ready to brake. That's especially important near corners, roadworks, wandering stock or farm machinery. Between 2010 and 2014, there were 164 crashes in Selwyn, where speed was a contributing factor. These resulted in 9 fatalities, 40 serious injuries and 69 minor injuries. 85% of these crashes occurred on open roads, with 65% involving drivers losing control when going around a bend. The district's road safety coordinator Nairi Tinning says it's important for people to understand that travelling too fast doesn't always mean travelling over the speed limit, particularly when there are obstructions on the road ahead. From the newsroom, I'm Bridget Rutherford.
Thanks for that, Bridget. We're still to come here on CTV News, Sport and your region's weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Now here's Gordon Finlater with a preview of the weekend's sporting action.
Two massive games of rugby highlight the weekend of sport, with Canterbury taking on Auckland in our provincial final on Saturday night, before the All Blacks look to do a job on South Africa less than 12 hours later. After their final hit out at training, Canterbury have announced their side to take on Auckland, with just one change made from the side that defeated Taranaki last weekend. After a lengthy injury layoff, Patrick Osborne makes his long-awaited return to the Canterbury side. Unlike his Highlanders compatriot Waisaki Naholo, the Fijian winger got back to full health using traditional measures.
That only works on bones, so it doesn't work on muscles. I tried. I asked Waisaki, he said his uncle only specialises in bones. So.
Like Canterbury, this weekend's opposition Auckland come into the match in scintillating form, accounting for a more than handy Tasman side by 20 points. Coach Scott Robertson is well aware of the threat that Auckland possess, but will look for his team to go into the final with a positive attitude.
Oh, look, you always prepare your best menu or what you think is going to work against an opposition. So you do homework against Auckland and you create opportunities you think that they'll give to you. And you just got to take them. That's the thing about final, and understand there's going to be a lot of pressure in how you deal with it. And Yeah, really enjoy it. That's been a big focus for us. Just enjoy it and embrace the challenge.
And when asked if we can expect some more razor-sharp breakdancing skills from the coach if his side take the title.
Been touching up on your dancing this week?
I won't get ahead of myself, mate. Those carry away those questions just yet. Yeah.
Saturday night's match kicks off at 7:35 from AMI Stadium. To cricket, and after a first-up loss to Auckland, Canterbury will be looking for a win at Hagley Oval in their second four-day Plunket Shield match against Otago starting tomorrow. Black cap Mitchell McClenaghan was the chief destroyer for Auckland last week, taking 4 first innings wickets as Canterbury fell to a poor first innings score of 149.
Yeah, he did. He bowled with good fire and certainly put us under pressure. Not quite sure Otago have the same bowling attack in terms of their straight out pace and fire that McClenaghan had. But look, we've got to play what's in front of us, and I know we've certainly spoken about it, and the guys have trained hard the last couple of days.
It was the Cantabrian youngsters stepping up at the crease, with Leo Carter and Kenny McClure both making scores of note in the second innings.
We've lost a number of batsmen over the last few years, so there's definitely going to be opportunity for people there, and in this match here with losing Tom Latham over to the Black Caps as well, then it'll be a chance for Cole McConkey to step up and bat in the top 5 as well. So looking forward to see how Cole goes, and certainly there's opportunities here for guys to make a name for themselves, and that'll create good competition for us in the future.
After playing regularly for Canterbury in the shorter formats, McConkey is ready to experience more Plunket Shield cricket.
Been pretty excited at the chance to play some 4-day cricket, and just a good chance to play more cricket for Canterbury and pressure case in all 3 formats really.
And the former Riccarton High player will be looking to bring his style from one-day cricket to the crease.
I'm definitely a positive sort of player, so and that's worked well for me, so I think I've got to continue to do that, but you can't be reckless in a 4-day. There's plenty of time to apply yourself, and it kind of comes down to what the team needs and what's the best in the best situations.
The 4-day match at Hagley begins tomorrow, and with Labour Day expected to reach 23 degrees, it could be the perfect opportunity for locals to soak in our summer game.
So it's a great place to come and bring the family down and watch cricket for an hour, and the kids can roll down the bank if they want or watch some cricket, so it'd be wonderful to see some people down here watching.
And that could just be the perfect remedy after hopefully big celebrations from the All Blacks on Sunday. Well, Labour weekend also comes with some exciting news for fans of oval racing. Speedway season roars into life at Woodford Glen tomorrow night. Opening the season is the annual Molly Young New Zealand Trophy Challenge. After a long off-season, organisers, fans and the drivers are ready for what looks set to be a hot summer of racing.
Well, the good news for Speedway fans is we've got all of our 8 classes racing, which we only do once a year, which is usually reserved for our opening night, which is called the Trophy Challenge. And so you've got your classes from compact stock cars and street stocks, for example, up to the high horsepower super saloons and winged modified. So there's something for everybody there that's a petrol head, really.
Top drivers from all over the South Island will assemble to battle in 8 classes, with the local boys looking to keep the silverware away from the out-of-towners. Saturday night's festivities get underway from 7 p.m. And finally tonight, after dismantling the French in Cardiff a week ago, the All Blacks now face the tough task of an unpredictable Springbok side. We went to the streets to find out if you think the boys will do another job on their opposition come Sunday morning.
Hey, big game on Sunday. Yeah. Do you think the boys will get the job done and smash the box?
Yeah, I'd say easily, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see anyone coming close to them, bro. All Blacks silverway, but yeah, normally I try and bet against them if I can make an easy dollar, but yeah, no, not this time, bro. Not this time.
You fear the box at all?
Yes, definitely. You have to, really.
Are the boys going to get the job done? Are they going to smash the box?
Yeah, they should do. Hopefully.
You think it's going to be a tight encounter?
Tight encounter, yeah. But I think we'll win. And I think the score will be around the 30s.
We can watch it. Don't watch rugby? Oh, really?
We don't watch rugby, so sad, you know. I mean, the Box have had some rough form lately, you know, lost to Japan, you know, a bit of a sketchy few games, so I reckon the ABs will have them.
Is it going to be a tight encounter against the Box?
It'll be pretty tight, but I reckon All Blacks come on top. You know, just got the X factor that the Box don't have.
You got to fear anyone at this stage, though. I mean, skin tight.
Not fearing the Box at all?
Nah, the Box is something that shouldn't be feared. You just approach it however the Box is presented to us.
And I mean, you know, looking back in the past, is there any sort of experiences of the Box that, you know, have a special place in your mind?
Oh, it depends, mate. You know, it depends how many boys really step up to take the Box at the time. It's really important that, you know, they join together as a team to beat the Box on the day.
And here's hoping for a positive result. Well, you're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
Thanks for that, Gordon. Now it's time for your region's weather forecast.
Kia ora, Canterbury. Well, a little bit cooler out there again today with southerly winds. However, we did see northeasterlies returning in the afternoon. Today's highs, though, first up, 18 for you, Timaru and Waimate, Temuka and Geraldine, both on 17. Central Canterbury, Christchurch, a little bit cooler, 16 for you, 15 there for Akaroa, Leeston and Ashburton, and Darwin and Methven, both on 17 degrees. Heading further north, Kaikoura, you also took out 16 degrees today, along with Cheviot, Rangiora and Oxford, 15 there for Amberley and 17 for Hanmer Springs and Culverden. Looking over to the Alpine region now, Arthur's Pass, a little bit cooler here for you, 13 degrees and 13 also for Mount Cook. Now the weekend we are expecting sunshine and things to be quite calm and settled. 17 degrees for your high, Timaru, great for that long weekend. We are seeing a few afternoon sea breezes as well, and 5 for your overnight low. Ashburton, I hope you've got some good things planned for the weekend. 17 degrees for your Saturday and northeasterlies popping up in the afternoon. The Garden City, again we're seeing a little bit cooler, 14 degrees, but still looking quite nice. Sunny skies, a little bit of cloud in the morning. Kaikoura, beautiful sunshine for you and a few light winds during the day, 17 degrees for your high there. The rest of the Canterbury region can also expect that similar pattern, sunshine and northeasterly winds for Waimate, Temuka and Geraldine, 18 degrees for you there, Twizel. Central Canterbury, again we're seeing northeasterlies for Akaroa and Leeston, a few northerlies for you, Methven, Darfield, blue skies for you and 18 degrees is your expected high. Heading further north, sunshine for North Canterbury, northerly winds for Cheviot and Culverden, 18 degrees is the expected high for almost everyone, apart from you Cheviot taking out 17. And over to the Alpine region now, a little bit of rain there for Arthur's Pass, but mostly dry, 16 degrees for you Lake Tekapo. The rest of the weekend is also looking really nice. On Sunday, we are expecting a bit of a southwesterly change, mid to late morning, could be bring a bit of low cloud and sharp showers with it, but mostly remaining dry, 18 degrees for you Kaikoura, which is good because that's where I'm off to. On Monday, we're also expecting really nice calm weather with a little bit of southwesterlies for you Kaikoura, but everyone else looking good with those northerlies, and 23 degrees expected for Christchurch. So on Sunday again, look out for that southwesterly in the morning. We are seeing beautiful sunshine though, and those northeasterlies returning in the afternoon. Flipping over to Monday, the temperatures are really heating up on Monday with northerly winds. They could be quite blusty for inland places, and over there Arthur's Pass, a little bit of rain coming your way. So the next few days we are expecting that beautiful sunshine, great for the long weekend. If you do have a break, I hope you have a fabulous time off, and if not, I hope you have a great weekend regardless. We'll see you back here on Tuesday.
Thanks so much for that, Mercy. Well, before we go tonight, there are a few changes going on here at Canterbury Television, like we're moving building. Yay, everybody loves moving. But there's also another change as well for CTV News. We're moving to a new time slot of 5:30 p.m. every night as of Tuesday next week. Our repeat times will also be at 7:30 and 9 p.m. Just to repeat them for you now, it is 5:30 is our new time slot as of next week, and 7:30 and 9 is our repeat times. Thank you so much for supporting local television as well. We really do appreciate it. Catch you then. But for now, that is CTV News for Friday. You can find all our stories and bulletins on demand at ctv.co.nz. But for now, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jared McCulloch. Have a fantastic, safe Labour weekend.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.